In this video, we are going to be answering the question, is my ex still in love with me? And stick through all of this because some of these might seem a little bit strange, a little bit weird. So you might not see all of this coming, but I promise we'll make this all come together in the end here. But first, my name is Clay with ModernLove.life, where we help you get the great loving relationship that you're looking for without having to play mind games, without having to play hard to get, and without having to pretend to be someone or something that you are not, because you deserve to be loved for the unique, amazing, and wonderful person that you are. And if you agree with me, do me a favor by hitting that thumbs up button down below, or thinking about subscribing to the channel, especially if you are new here. Also, I wanted to let you know that we do have our new course called Connect and Commit. You can find out more about that down below in the description box for this video, but basically it helps you to pivot these small little moments with your ex that could potentially go really terribly into opportunities for greater connection and emotional bonding. Again, more info on that down below. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. So it's not uncommon for your ex to still be in love with you after a breakup. And you might be wondering, well, I mean, they broke up with me. Why would they still be in love with me? And the truth is that human emotions can often be a little bit more complicated than that. You know, they might have come to the realization that maybe their needs are not able to be met within your relationship, and so they still might break up with you, even though they might still be emotionally in love with you. And so there's definitely a lot of things that could potentially be going on here. So I want to get into some of these things that might point towards your ex being in love with you still. And again, this is by no means an exhaustive list or anything like that. These are just things that might indicate that inclination, if you know what I'm saying. So the first thing is that they talk positively about the past. Now, if your ex is in love with you, there of course may be reasons why they broke up with you, reasons why the relationship didn't work out, obviously. But if they can still talk about the past, talk about your time together in a positive way, it shows that they are still kind of emotionally attached to it in a optimistic, positive sort of way. Yes, there obviously were reasons why the two of you broke up, but again, nobody's emotions are going to be like completely cut down the middle like that. There's going to be like part of them that says, yes, we didn't work out, we weren't great together, we were incompatible, but also on the other side of things, we had some great times together. I still feel a lot of connection for them. I still feel a lot of things for them, right? And so there's kind of this like split. And so if you are aware of that, if you are aware that this could be happening, it's going to help you to kind of understand the context that your ex might be operating in. Potentially, they could be in love with you. The second thing is that they find excuses to spend time with you that allow the two of you to connect in an emotional way. Not just a physical sort of way, or for practical reasons like, oh, hey, here's some bill that we need to figure out how to deal with now that we're broken up, or if you have kids together, oh, like when should I come pick up the kids for the thing or whatever. But if they find reasons to stay in contact with you for non-practical reasons, especially if they kind of drag out that communication for longer than it really needs to be. So, okay, maybe the two of you are chatting, just sharing some inside jokes or something, but if they kind of keep the connection going, keep it kind of stretching out, that really shows that there's like a part of them that's enjoying that connection and that they want it to, be kind of strung out as long as possible, or at least a little bit longer than the situation may call for. Of course, this means that they are enjoying the interaction, obviously, but it could also point to the possibility that they might love you, that they might still be in love with you, okay? The next thing is that they seem concerned about your emotional well-being. They're considering your emotional well-being in terms of like what it's like for you right now, how you're dealing with the breakup, how you're dealing with the situation, if you know what I mean, how you're dealing with other things that could potentially be going on in your life. If they're keeping track of certain events that are happening in your life, if they're keeping track of, things that maybe you have going on for work or certain family events or remembering important dates or things like that, those are obvious signs that they are taking into consideration your emotional well-being. And that, of course, could kind of point towards them potentially still being in love with you. Next up is that they keep their distance from you out of a sense of guilt or fear that they might feel too much for you. And, many times people's exes will actually tell them this, like, I'm afraid to actually meet up with you because I'm afraid I might not be able to control myself around you, or I might fall in love with you again, or I might, one of the ones that someone recently told me was, I might catch feelings for you again, or something like that. I mean, like, why would you talk about feelings like it's some sort of, disease or something like that? And anyway, either way, if your ex is trying to keep their distance from you because they're afraid that they might feel too much for you, it shows that there is that sort of split. There is that sort of two different things that could potentially be going on sort of thing, where it's like, on one hand, yeah, the relationship didn't work out. There were issues, there were problems, there were all sorts of reasons why the two of you broke up. But on the other hand, there's also this positive vibe between the two of you. And so they're standing on the side of the negativity, and they're afraid to take a step towards you out of fear that it might kind of overwhelm them and pull them back into a situation that is not necessarily getting their needs met. So that's what could be going on if your ex is keeping distance from you over a fear of guilt or fear of feeling like they might sort of be sucked back into a situation that isn't getting their needs met. And the fifth reason that your ex, or fifth sign that your ex might still be in love with you, is that they keep their distance from you out of fear of hurting you emotionally. They're afraid of potentially stringing you along, of giving you, false hope, as they say, or if they just think that, like, you're too good for them or something like that. They might try to keep you safe, keep from hurting you, and that just shows again that they're considering your emotional state, your emotional well-being, and they're doing their best that they can to try and protect you in a certain degree, because oftentimes after a breakup, your ex is, obviously confused, especially if they have that kind of two thing going on. There's like the part of them that acknowledges why the two of you broke up, and there's a part of them that acknowledges that they still have feelings for you, that they love you, that they still enjoy interacting with you. And as these two parts kind of pull at them in different directions, they're obviously going to experience a sense of confusion. One day it might be like, yeah, our relationship really didn't work out, it's for the best that we broke up. The next day it's like, I really miss them, I love them, I want to be in contact with them, I want to see how they're doing. And it can sort of cause this waffling back and forth. Obviously, this is very frustrating for you. It's obviously very frustrating for them too. But it can cause them to do things like intentionally keep distance for fear of being sucked in themselves, or fear of potentially hurting you, or potentially other things as well too. But it could also point to the fact that they are still in love with you, and they're taking your emotional consideration into account and trying to create a space where you can actually remain emotionally safe, if you know what I mean. And so that is what's the main driver behind that. So, your ex potentially could be doing some of these things if they were still in love with you, if they still had feelings for you, and if they were trying to be sensitive towards those feelings. Of course, this is not an exhaustive list. This is just a couple things that an ex might do if they were still in love with you. And these are just kind of like pointing a direction towards something. It's, by no means it's like, yeah, if this one happens, then it's absolutely guaranteed. No, it's just kind of like filling in the picture, if you know what I'm saying here. So once again, thank you so much for watching this video. If you do want to learn more about that Connect and Commit course, you can find out more about it down below in the description box for this video. Again, it does help you to turn these potentially difficult, problematic situations with your ex into opportunities for deeper emotional connection that could, nurture some love between the two of you if there is a lingering sense of love there. But once again, thank you so much for watching. If you like what we're doing in these videos, please do me a favor by giving this video a thumbs up and by subscribing to this channel if you are not already subscribed. You may also want to check out this video series over here on signs that your ex wants you back, or you may want to check out this video over here. But once again, thank you so much. Hope you're staying safe out there. Hope you're doing well, and I hope you're having a great day. I'll talk to you next time. This has been Clay with modernlove.life.